Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have a what's sold on Poshmark and eBay video to share with you guys today. I'm going to be covering every single sale I made during the month of September. So if you want to check out all that information, definitely keep watching. For those of you who might be new, thanks so much for checking this out. I'm a full-time working mom, but in my spare time I love making these videos on fashion, beauty, mommy lifestyle, in addition to a little bit of reselling and luxury as well. So if those kind of things sound at all interesting, definitely check out my other videos and consider hitting that subscribe button as well. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching yet another video. Alright guys, so I'm going to just jump into this, and if you watch my last what's sold in the summer video, you'll realize that I kind of had to change, I'd say, my part-time reselling strategy a little bit. So like a lot of you, things have gone really hectic now that a lot of the COVID restrictions have been relaxed. There's just a lot more going on. I have more weddings to go to, more special events, the kids' activities are picking up, a lot more kind of end of year type of parties and things going on. So for all these good reasons, I've had to scale back my already very part-time reselling strategy. If you want to hear more details about that, check out my most recent what's sold video, which I will link below. Needless to say, this was the first month that, again, I really kind of focused on not focusing on my reselling. But as you'll see, it's kind of cool because I still am making great sales on previous listings that I had. So I really hope this video will still be somewhat helpful to you, especially if you're someone like me where this is probably 20th on your list of priorities of what you need to be doing with your days, that you can still make some decent money and have some enjoyment from reselling despite not listing anything for months. So it still really works for me as, you know, a really fun little hobby. So I hope that this will be helpful for people like you if you're anything like me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the sales. So the first sales, of course, I'm going to do are on Poshmark, as I always cover first. And I'm going to be, again, covering all the sales for September. So the first sale I made is a pair of Hudson Holly Flare high-rise crop jeans in a size 29. So this was a gorgeous pair of jeans. I love the style. This cropped type of flare look I think is still really nice. It wasn't super cropped though, I'll say that. At least for me, who is slightly petite, this was a full-length flare jean. And I did sell it for best offer of $45, so my net earnings were $36 on this pair of jeans. So Hudson is a brand that I am very picky about. So I picked this one up because I like the wash. The size 29 was pretty versatile, I thought. But also, I really liked the flare look. I think that look is still in. So I decided to pick this one up, and it did sell for a pretty decent price point, which I was happy about. The next item here is a pair of Clarks, and this was called, I called it at least, the Suede Mary Jane wedge. As you can see, there's a little stacked heel wedge, and it had a Mary Jane style, but the exterior was suede, and this was in a size 9. So a little bit of story with this one. This was close to one of the first shoes I ever picked up to resell. So I was still learning back then. Now I would not honestly have picked this one up. I think there was a little bit too much wear for my liking, at least nowadays. But also I tend to really steer clear of Clarks these days. A couple years ago when I first started doing this as a hobby, I did pick up Clarks because I had some good experience reselling it, because I think there is definitely a market for Clarks. The problem is I honestly don't think they're that trendy in terms of styles, and I don't enjoy picking them up as much as I do other brands, partially for that reason. But also, I don't know, I think it's really dependent on the style. I thought this was a cute style, but honestly I wouldn't have picked it up if I saw the same shoe out there recently. So nonetheless, I was very happy that this ultimately went to a buyer who left great feedback and enjoyed them. So I was happy about that. But of course, I sold them for best offer of only $20, which isn't a whole lot, obviously. And my earnings were $16. But you know what? I just had to move them since I had them for so long. So I was happy to take that offer. The next item was another pair of shoes. This was Adidas Samoa leather white and silver sneakers in a size 9. There was some wear, but it was pretty minimal. at least as far as sneakers go. So this is kind of a classic Adidas look in my opinion. I love Adidas sneakers, as I've talked about on this channel before. This particular one I did source through a ThredUp rescue box that I got a couple years ago. So I was happy to move it along. And I did send out offers to likers on one of the make a deal days for $28. My shipping discount was $1.72. So my earnings are $20.68. If I was sourcing these, I would have to get it for a pretty decent price point, but I think Adidas sneakers still are super trendy. I personally love them, so I will consider picking up Adidas if they're in good condition. The next pair of shoes was from Seychelles, a brand that I always love. I consider bread and butter for me. And this was called the Commute Leather Mule Block Heel Sandals in a size 8.5. It had the black leather vamp, as you can see, and kind of a stacked wood heel. And I did sell this for a best offer of $38, so my net earnings were $30.40, which is pretty good for me. I love Seychelles. I think their styles are really on point in terms of trends, and there definitely is a following for this brand. I know it's sold at several different retailers. So Seychelles definitely is a bolo brand, I would say, for me when I'm picking up shoes. The next item was another pair of jeans. This is from J Brand. And this particular one, again, I also have had for quite a while. This style was called the Waltz Wash, but the style was called Brook. It was a bootcut jean in a size 27. So I did accept a best offer of $30. So my net earnings were $24 on this pair of jeans. J Brand is a brand that I don't pick up anymore pretty much across the board, unless it's a super of the moment style. In general, I don't pick it up. I would not pick this up again because I just don't think the resale potential for this brand holds any value these days, honestly. So I don't think, for me personally, it's worthwhile picking up, but I was happy to sell this one through. I did have this for a while, so I think overall it was a really great sale. I mean, this is honestly a really cute jean. The bootcut style, I think, is coming back again, obviously, so I was happy with the sale, but I wouldn't pick it up going forward. And the last item that sold during this period on Poshmark was a really cute little crop top from Free People line We the Free, as you can see here. It had a really cute stripe pattern, and the background was this burgundy color. I really like the look of this. I didn't pay much for it, which is why I picked it up. Otherwise, even if it's Free People and you think it might be popular, more trendy, as you know, it's oversaturated, but also just a basic top like this probably, I would say, is not worthwhile picking up. I did accept an offer of $15, so my net earnings were $12. So, you need to figure that in there. Is it worth your time to clean it, to steam it, to list it, to ship it? Probably not worth it, but, I had to sell through this because I had it from a previous buy. So I was happy I moved along. I mean, it was a really cute style. It's just not quite substantial enough, at least in my opinion, to resell going forward. So those are all the sales I made on Poshmark during this stretch, and for me, I would say not too bad considering I'm very part-time, and again, I'm sounding like a broken record, but I haven't really been investing much time at all into reselling these days. So, it's still really nice to see that you can still sell through some of your older inventory. So I do have a few sales to share with you guys on eBay, which I'm always excited about, and I'm going to pop up the pictures here. So the first item was a beautiful coat. So this is from Cupcakes and Cashmere. It was called the Fabrice Wool Blend Leopard Print Coat in a size small, as you can see here. There were no tags attached to this, but it had one of the original tag loops on there. So I don't think it was worn, but I didn't list it as unworn or anything because I wasn't certain about it. But it really was in like new condition. I accepted a best offer of $65 on this particular coat. So this was a gorgeous coat, and I was tempted to keep it, but I had to sell it. I had to get rid of some inventory. But just a really beautiful wool blend coat, as you can see, and Cupcakes and Cashmere I think has a decent following still, so I was really happy about that sale. And the next sale that I made on eBay was my best, I believe, of this stretch, and it was from Aquatalia. It was a beautiful Falco suede leather Chelsea boot, as you can see, in this gorgeous camel color. It was in a size 9.5, and I did accept a best offer of $85 on these booties. So these are perfect for this time of year. such a fall winter vibes, I would say. I love the color. I'm definitely a neutral person, so totally love this boot. I would have 100% kept it if it was my size, but it wasn't. So $85, not bad, although these boots retails for many hundreds of dollars. So I think the buyer also got a good deal, which is always nice. And this was in really excellent condition. There was very mild or minor signs of wear, but overall excellent condition. So I was super happy about these. The thing on eBay though, as you'll hear about in a lot of these sales, is I tend to guess what the shipping charge is going to be, and then I will have the buyer pay that shipping charge. But if I'm wrong, then I have to eat it, right? So with boots like this, with the coat, it's a little bit hard to guess. And now that all of the US Postal Service shipping costs continue to go up, it's actually getting kind of tough to guess shipping and to tack that on, because it's quite a hefty price point. So for instance, boots like these, in terms of shipping costs, for me, in my experience, is it really depends on where in the country or internationally it's shipping to. If it's international, it does get shipped to the standard eBay International site in the US, so you're not paying international fees. I believe the buyer can do that if that's what you want. But if you're shipping to the East Coast, for instance, I'm on California, so if you ship cross coast, the shipping charges, even for a small little t-shirt, are astronomical. So for a small little t-shirt in one of those small little boxes, priority mail, again, I send everything priority mail to be consistent with my Poshmark boxes and things, but priority mail, even a small little shirt shipping cross country, I have seen shipping prices, even close to $15, but at least, $13, $14 for a basic, really light t-shirt. So you have to be a little wary. Of course, you're not going to be able to predict where in the country your items are going to have to ship to when you're listing them, obviously. So you have to kind of guess. And overall, things will probably even out, because some sales will be shipped closer to where you live. So then the cost will be a little lower than you anticipated. So you make some extra money off of those sales. But then other sales, you're going to have to eat some of the shipping costs if it goes cross country. So I think it all evens out, but it's a little challenging with the shipping on eBay. So boots like these, depending where they get shipped, definitely can cost shipping priority mail close to $20 for me. So definitely be wary of that. Let me know if you sell on eBay what you like to do for shipping. Do you give free shipping, or do you actually have the buyer pay? And then how do you figure out how shipping costs should be done? I'm really curious, because I have not mastered this by any means, but again, my strategy is I tend to tack on what I estimate shipping will be for the buyer to pay. Because in my opinion, I think that the buyers often look at the actual sales price or the offer price versus the total cost. So for instance, if they see that I, in my head, tacked on shipping onto the actual sales price and then offered free shipping, psychologically, I feel like that may be a little bit more distracting or not as favorable as if you offered a lower price point but then tacked on shipping. Because once somebody sees the lower price point, that kind of attracts them to the item, and then they get a little hooked, and then potentially won't care that it's a $15 additional shipping charge. I don't know what you guys think about that strategy. Let me know. For instance, my husband sells on eBay. He's selling things that are a lot, oftentimes less expensive, but also lighter weight. So he offers free shipping on everything, always, and that's his strategy. So I don't know what works, but this is what I tend to do, at least for reselling the items that I do. All right, enough about shipping. Moving on to my final sale, and this is a polo top from Vineyard Vines. It was called the Susie Fit Polo in a size medium in this gorgeous turquoise color. So I did accept a best offer of $20 on this particular polo top. So Vineyard Vines is a line that I used to pick up more commonly, but nowadays I tend to steer clear of. So I just personally think I've had a harder time selling these items recently. So I tend to steer clear of Vineyard Vines. So I was very happy when this cute little polo top ultimately sold on eBay. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are all the sales I made on Poshmark and eBay during the month of September. So again, for me, I was pretty satisfied with those final numbers just because of how I've had to restructure my reselling strategy. Comment down below what are your favorite items from this particular sales report, but also, more importantly, if you're a reseller as well, let me know what's hot for you, what's selling for you, also what kind of strategies you have as we're going into the winter months as well. You know, if you're kind of adjusting your strategy a little bit based on the time of year or season, I'm always super curious to hear kind of what your tips and tricks are as well. Thank you so much for watching yet another video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.